Truly African.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to the show. My name is Pratt. This is The Couch. This is the book review edition of the show, and we are still on our favorite book, The Thing Around Your Neck. This is the book that keeps giving week after week after week after week. This book keeps giving us vibrant, interesting short stories with deep-seated themes, you know, that are as relevant today as they were sometime 2010, 2011, when Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie published this one, The Thing Around Your Neck. So today's short story is a private experience, and I'm excited. I love it when I get to meet new people on the show. And today I get to meet this very lovely lady, Zainab Alhassan Balambala. She's an English teacher, and she's also a literature enthusiast. Hey, Zainab.
Hello, Miss
It's great to meet you.
You too.
You're brightening the couch, you know.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for
yeah,
having me.
looking very busy. We are excited to have you. I love your shoe, by the way.
Too.
Ooh,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
And of course, the man, Bless. Bless.
You didn't add my title.
Which one?
I'm a
Which
journalist.
ones?
A morning show host.
A broadcaster,
A poet.
a poet,
Yes.
a literature
Yes.
enthusiast,
I
an
love
all-round annoying man.
Perhaps.
It's great to have you back, Bless, always.
Yes, I'm
Always.
glad to be here. I mean, this is something I love, so
Right.
it's always a pleasure. Whenever TJ calls me that, Bless, we are reviewing this book.
Right.
Okay, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's fine. I'm cool. Yeah,
We are happy that you are here.
I am.
We are happy, even if you don't know time, like it's okay. We're so happy that you are here, even if you
Straight
don't
bullets.
understand the concept of time and how it works.
I get
Ooh,
it.
We still like
You've even
you know.
the scores.
Yes, I've even the scores. No, not nearly. I still have a few words here. Okay, so let's welcome Zainab. How do you feel about a private experience? General impression first, and then we get into the themes.
General impression. Actually, when I first read the book, the short story, I think I saw myself.
Really?
Yes, because I'm a Muslim Hausa lady, so that unnamed Hausa lady,
Right.
I was picturing myself as the
Hey.
one. Yes. So
Right,
it was
right,
something
right,
very
right.
personal.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, forgive me. Unpardonable,
interesting
unforgivable.
Right. Actually, yes.
right.
So I'm quite excited to be here to talk about.
That particular.
Yes.
Oh, that's so interesting. I didn't even think about that. Great, wonderful. Then I'm super excited that you're here.
Yeah.
So you take us through the story. Could you please give us a summary
Okay.
of a private experience?
Okay, so I think the story is about Chika, who is an educated Igbo lady who is at the University of Lagos. They went to Kano to visit their auntie. Chika and her sister Nedi went to Kano to visit their auntie during the vacation. And wanting to explore Kano beyond the gated environment of their auntie's home, they sought to go to the market. So when they were in the market, I think hours later, Nedi wanted to go and get granuts, whilst Chika also wanted to buy oranges. And within some few hours, they heard shouts. I think riots breaks out, sorry. And yes, they all scattered, and I think Chika was running while, yes, everything was going on, the rioting was going on, and a lady who is unnamed, the Hausa Muslim lady, called Chika and told her to go this way because she thought that way was a safer way to go. So the lady, took her along to one abandoned store where they seek refuge. Yeah. And that was where the whole personal experience happened in that abandoned store in the heart of the market.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I dare say one of the best summaries I've had.
I mean, what more can you expect from an English teacher?
I mean,
it's simple, precise,
Right.
and I'm impressed as well.
Right. And yet it leaves something to the imagination.
Yes.
She's told a story, but she
Yeah.
still hasn't told a story.
The story,
That's so
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. So, can we start with themes, or would you want to sort of check out, say something small about the writing style and how she chooses to tell this story?
Yeah.
Bless.
Yeah. So, my sister has already summarized the story. I'm particularly not happy about the fact that Chimamanda left us without the name of the Hausa Muslim woman. We never got to know her name, and then the story ended. But I like that.
Why are you not? What's your unhappiness with that? Why are you not happy with
I
that?
feel like Ineka,
Indeed.
Chika.
Right.
I mean, Chika is like the main character.
Right.
Her sister,
Nnedi.
Nnedi didn't make any appearance, but she was named.
Right.
And somebody who literally had an interaction with Chika from the beginning to the end, she wasn't named. I feel cheated. I feel Chimamanda cheated us by not making bare the name of that character.
Sorry to catch you. Why do you think she did that? Why do you think that this character that is central to the story, because that character is central
Very.
to the story, why do you think that Chimamanda Ngozi and she decided not to name her?
Yes. Well, I think knowing Chimamanda very well with a kind of imaginative style of writing, maybe she wanted to leave it to the to our wild imagination to keep, pick any name we want for this lady. Yes, she just gave this work to the reader, I think, because I also share in your sentence. I also felt like, oh, why wasn't she named?
Right.
Yes, so maybe she left it for us to pick any name we want to give her.
Okay. So here's what I think, right? Because I also thought to myself, why is this character, it's as though she doesn't want us to get to know the character, because the name is so important and so vital. But then I thought about it towards the end. I said, what she's doing is using this one woman to represent the whole of
Perhaps Hausa
Hausa
and Islam.
and Muslim. And she was using this one character as a representation of the whole. Because when you read the story, perhaps because of the fact that I'm Christian, and some of the narrations that are made, you might tend to fault the Hausa Muslim. Because she's not even subtle about it. She says categorically that the Hausa Muslim has consistently, even when they reported it on BBC, the BBC narrative said this group has consistently attacked this group. So it looks as though there's some kind of blaming. And the Hausa Muslim is being blamed as a violent, that is always perpetuating this. But then I think that Chimamanda chooses to use this character to show that no, it's not like that. It's not all Hausa Muslims that are violent. That there's a whole other
set of
Hausa Muslims that are nice, that are kind, that are... Maybe that's why she didn't name her. So that she represents every Hausa Muslim. That's how I thought about it anyway.
Perhaps.
I tend to overthink when it comes to Chimamanda Ngozi. I'm always looking for excuses to save her. So perhaps, sorry, bless, go on.
Yeah, so, so that part, the fact that she didn't name that central character in this particular short story, I felt cheated. But if you look at the Chimamanda stories that we've treated in this series, the thing around your neck, this is like the shortest of the three so far. This is like the shortest of the three. But it is one that also explores a critical part of society. And though very short, it leaves you very much impressed with how she was able to tell the story. And that would make me delve into the writing style. So she narrated it, and then she used imagery a lot. So you could imagine the scene. Whilst reading, I could just imagine the store, the way she describes certain things like dust filling the room. You could imagine everything, like how bodies were on the streets, vertically, and all of that. So I think she used that very well. And she also used flashbacks and then flash forwards. So whilst reading, a flashback could tell you that, okay, this is what happened some time ago, with regards to even the fact that Chika said in the story that she had never been involved in a riot. The only one she remembers was that of her university days, and even that she had to be involved because of the fact that I think her sister was at the forefront of that. I mean, demonstration sort of. So that was a flashback. You understand? And how when she was in that store with a woman, she imagined certain things as well, like flash forwards, and then she went out and then she could see them, bodies lying around and everything. So I'm very much impressed with the writing style. I mean, Chimamanda is a wonderful writer.
I mean,
one of the very best.
I mean,
not only in Africa, the entire world. One of the
right. How do you feel about it?
I agree with you too, because if you take, anytime you take Chimamanda's book, she carries you along in her writing style. She makes you feel belonged, makes you paint the picture as if you are there experiencing it, and the use of her imagery is so on point. Yes, I so love her books.
Absolutely. I mean, there's been criticism about her politics. And she tends to do that a lot. She tends to go into themes that are very political.
Yeah.
You know, she sort of retells Nigeria's history, you know, and she always draws distinctions between the past and the present. You know, and she's been highly criticized for it, because, I mean, these are issues that have two sides.
Yeah.
All of our history has two sides, those who feel this way about it and those who feel that way about it. So Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie is that writer today, that author today, that still has the courage to veer into topics like Biafra and things that are still very tricky, you know, for the average Nigerian. And so she's really, really criticized. But for the rest of us that do not live in Nigeria and that perhaps do not have the history, she also then tends to be sort of like a reference point for us. It's where we get to learn. So normally when I pick up her books and I read, I'm back on Google trying to figure out an error.
Yeah, an error, yeah.
Trying to figure out what happened here.
Yeah.
What is she talking about?
Yeah.
You know, because all of these stories are based on things that actually happened.
Yeah, live events.
Live events. Yeah. She weaves her stories around live events, you know, the politics of it. And it's beautiful for me.
Yeah.
I think that as a people, we need to do that more.
Yeah.
I hope that, you know, we would have more authors, African authors, that take on our history, you know, and its relevance for us today. And for me, it's why she's one of my best, and perhaps would always be one of my best, because, you know, we need to tell our stories. We need to make it, you know, our present. We need to learn the lessons that are needed to be learned so that we can forge ahead. Right. So I agree with all of you. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie is the best. Okay, so let's come to themes. Let's come to themes. I'll start with you, Zainab.
Well, for me, one of the themes she seeks to explore is religious and ethnic conflict. Yeah, which is there in Nigeria, like it's there.
Let me read for you, my sister. It says here on page 48. Chika wonders if that is, no, let me go back a little bit ahead. So, yes, Chika says, the conversation seems surreal. She feels as if she's watching herself. I still can't believe this is happening, this route. The woman is staring straight ahead. Everything about her is long and slender. Her legs stretched out in front of her. Her fingers with henna-stained nails. Her feet. It is work of evil, she says finally. Chika wonders if that is all the woman thinks of the Riles. If that is all she sees them as. Evil. She wishes Nendi were here. She imagines the cocoa brown of Inendi's eyes lightening up, her lips moving quickly, explaining that riots do not happen in a vacuum, that religion and ethnicity are often politicized because the ruler is safe if the hungry ruled are killing one another.
Yeah. Right. Well, with this, as I said, she tried to explore this theme, religious and ethnic conflicts. You know, Nigeria is quite a big country, and there are these three main tribes that are dominant, which is the Igbo tribe, the Yoruba tribe, and the Hausa Fulani. They kind of put them together. And all the time, you would realize that these Hausa Fulani and the Igbos are constantly in fights here and there because the houses are at the helms of affairs when it comes to governance and politics, so to speak. Even though the Igbos and the Yorubas too are there, but and one thing that was very clear was that the Hausa Fulanis majority, or they don't, I should say, education is not something that is of much importance to them, because I know I'm Hausa. I used to ask my granny, why are your contemporaries are educated and you guys are, and she was like, yeah, gone were the days. Our parents used to say that if you go to school, you would lose your religion. Book, they call it Boko. Boko in Hausa means Western education. That this Western education is here to take us out of our religion, you see. So these kind of things happened, and so therefore most of these houses were not educated. Most of them. It was only few who broke the oath and went to school and what have you. So when you go to Nigeria, the Igbos are well learned. We talk about 80–90%. The Yorubas too, very educated, but it's the Hausa Fulanis that are lagging behind, you see. So sometimes they feel like, why are we are at the helms of affairs, but we are not educated? And the Yorubas and Igbos too feel like, we know, we've been to school, we have all this knowledge, so why are we also not at the helm of affairs? So all the time, this is what has been happening, and so therefore there's this drag. And so now let's come back to what you just read. And I think Chimamanda made mention of the fact that the book was around, the era was around 19, I think, Sani Abacha's regime. And I think he was a politician, and also what should I say, a military officer who took powers within 1993 to 1998 when he died. So he came to governance, or he came to become a leader through coup d'etat. And the man was a Muslim zealot. His regime was just so I think that also informed what really happened. Yes, time and what really happened. The Muslim felt like they have to protect their religion, and so all the time there is this kind of conflict between them. Yes.
Bless. Ethnicity and religion.
Yeah, so I'll add to the ethnicity and religion. So even here in Ghana, when somebody starts to speak Hausa, we tend to assume that the person is Muslim. There's this perception that Hausa-speaking people are Muslim, and I mean the statistics are there. Most Hausa-speaking people are actually Muslim. But let's look at Chimamanda's short story and the issue of ethnicity and religion. One of the cankers that has eaten into our moral fabric as a people is that religion and ethnicity. We see it in our everyday lives, including politics. Here in our country, we know for a fact that there's a particular region where 8 people vote for a particular party.
No matter what.
No matter what. You understand? So, I mean, it is there. It has been there since time immemorial. It is still there today. In 2022, it is there. In 2024 or in 2023, when Nigeria goes to the polls, we are going to see people who occupy northern Nigeria vote for a particular party. And mind you, Kano is actually situated in northern Nigeria. So that's where you have lots of the Hausa Muslims. You understand? So we look at it, or let's look at it in this light. Chika meets this woman by accident anyway, and these 2 women are 2 people who ideally on a normal day would not even have a conversation, but she meets her, and Chika actually didn't, I mean, from the onset, she knew that this woman was Hausa, and this woman was a Hausa Muslim as well. From her looks, she described her face, her oval shape, and then her scarf. All of these things gave her away as a Hausa woman. But at the end of the day, we saw how they were able to cohabit in that store, despite the difference in religious and ethnic background. So, I mean, I'll actually add this theme to the theme of ethnicity and then religion, is that of love, if you ask me.
Let's have that conversation. I want us to finish ethnicity and religion, and then we'll come to love.
Yeah,
because that's a whole theme here.
Yeah. So basically, like I started, ethnicity and religion, it is rife in our politics, in our daily lives, in our social lives. Everything, it works there, especially here in our part of the world. I'm sure in other jurisdictions too, you'd find other forms of it, like racism and all of these things. But here, it is something we face. And what actually even sparked the riot was something of sort. That a man, an Igbo Christian, was driving and accidentally drove,
he didn't even see it.
He didn't even see it.
Yeah.
Accidentally drove on the holy book. Yes, that is the Quran for that matter. And then one man, angered by that, Charlie, I mean, it was haram. Haram to him, so just pulled him out of the vehicle, slashed his head, and he did it so expertly. It is as though he had mastered the use of the machete in cutting heads. So just one hit, and then boom, the head was in his hand, and then he was showing it to people and rallied them to actually join. So it actually spread, and that's what transpired in the market. So it is clear the issue of religion collaborating with ethnicity. It is clear, and let me state also that these are things, especially religion, something that was actually alien to Africa until we had colonization coming. So these were things that
both Christianity and Muslim
exactly
are foreign
to
us as Africans.
Yes, exactly. They were alien to us. And we see the damage it is causing every day.
And I think then the politicians also use it.
That's what I was coming to.
Yes,
exactly.
And it is the tool they use to separate us, and then they get their way through.
Yeah.
And I don't know why we are still not seeing this.
Oh, God.
We are still not realizing that this is what they are using to disintegrate our unity for them to have their way to the top.
Absolutely.
It's
we normally forget that divide and rule,
Yeah.
or divide and conquer,
Yeah.
was a tool for the colonizers against us as people.
Yes.
It was an actual thing. It
Yeah.
wasn't something that just happened.
Yeah.
It was something that was thought through, planned, and executed.
Yeah.
Because you cannot rule a united people.
Yeah.
You can't oppress a united
People,
people.
yeah.
Because it was all of Africa against these few white merchants.
Yeah.
And divide and rule, divide and conquer was a tool that was used.
Yeah.
And it's amazing that after they left, we've allowed the political class to continue to use divide and rule, divide and conquer against us till now.
Do you know the irony of this whole thing? Both religions actually preach love.
Absolutely. That's why I said love is a whole theme on
Yeah.
its own. Love
Both
is a whole
religions actually preach love.
theme. Love is a whole thing. Now, here's my thing, right?
Yeah.
And I dare say it. I will say it. Most of us are what we are because of where we were born.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yes.
Like, I'm Christian because I was born in Ghana
Yeah.
to parents that probably come from
A Christian home.
this part of the country.
Yeah.
You know, Elmina.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm 100% fancy, by
Yeah.
the way. So I was born, my parents were born into a Christian home. That's it. Zainab, you are probably Muslim because you were born in a specific place at a specific time. Now, if you had been born in my family, and if I had been born in your family, I'd be Muslim and you'd be Christian.
Exactly.
Definitely.
How do we not understand that?
You see, so once you're young, you are under the ages of somebody. You are under the ages of your parents. So it is assumed that you cannot take decisions of your own. So things like church, I mean, which in the Constitution is enshrined as a right to associate with whichever institution that you want. So you have that freedom of association, but you cannot exercise that freedom, especially in a family setting, until you are of a certain age. And by the time you get to that age, they have
None of us is exercising that freedom.
yes,
I'm
you
sorry. A majority of the people on earth, not just in Africa, on earth,
yes.
are not exercising
So
the
that freedom, yeah.
of spirituality,
Yeah.
the freedom of religion. All of us are towing a line.
Yes.
Yes.
People are Jewish because they were born into a
Jews,
Jewish.
yeah.
People are Muslim because they were born. People are Christian because they were born into Christian homes. A lot of us do not move away from the norm. It's infused.
Into us.
You know, and the rebels normally become atheists.
Yeah.
The rebels are the ones that become atheists.
Atheists, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So the truth is that religion really should not be,
A tool.
it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Why would I think that mine is superior to yours?
Yes, yeah.
Why should I think that? So what if I were born somewhere else? Would I still insist that mine was superior? It's a little confusing for me sometimes,
yeah.
you know? And then we attach superiority and spirituality, and mine is the only through way, and yours is not the...
I think parenting, for me, because your mother or your father wouldn't tell you that you have a right. I mean, at that young age, your mother wouldn't tell you that you have a right to associate yourself to whichever religion you want to when you grow up. They are not even going to give you that hope that you can do that. They are going to tell you that this is what you're supposed to follow. This is the right way. While doing that, they rubbish other religions.
But let's have... Sorry, please say what you want to say.
Well, for me, I think education. For me,
Right.
it boils down to education, because I know there are some parents who are liberal. In as much as when we are growing up as children, we are under the tutelage of our parents. But as time goes on and we are of age, for them they will tell you, now you are of age. You know what you want and what you don't want, so you can choose whichever way you'd want to. But this kind of set of parents who are few,
Rare.
Very rare.
Rare.
Very
Now,
rare.
I always like shaking tables, so let me shake this table away.
Do.
Let me shake this table away. Really, what's the importance of religion? Really, what's the... Because I you know, really, right?
That's a
Because
very
for
deep
me,
question.
our humanity, perhaps, if
Yeah.
we lead with our humanity,
Yeah.
where I'm fully aware of my humaneness, and I'm fully aware of Zainab's humaneness and your humaneness.
Yeah.
And I treat you with respect, and you treat me with respect.
Yeah.
And I'm conscious of love.
Yeah.
You know, and I treat you with love, and I expect that you treat me back with love.
Yeah.
Why do we need religion?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I agree, because most of the things that religion actually preaches when it comes to these normal virtues like love and not stealing, and I mean, there are things that you should even practice consciously without religion telling you that don't do this.
Yes.
It should be normal. Why would you take something that belongs to somebody else?
Yes.
Why would you?
Why would you hate someone?
Exactly.
Why would you? Why would you kill someone?
Yes, you don't need to be promised a heaven or a hell to actually live right.
What it means is that,
Yeah.
but for that promise of heaven,
Yeah.
you'd have been very happy to kill along and be
I
going
tell
away.
you solemnly.
You'd have been very happy to be the worst kind of human
Human
being,
beings
but
ever.
for that heaven.
Yeah.
And that is a problem, isn't
That
it?
is a
That's why we
problem.
have all these hypocritical, pretentious people that go to church every Sunday and are the worst kind of human beings you can encounter.
Yes.
Charlatans.
Because it's
really-
not from here.
Yeah.
Yes. And I should say, the people that we encounter who are full of love, full of compassion, you realize,
They are not religious.
I'm telling you,
They're not religious. That's true.
not.
They are not
So
religious.
you go back to your bedroom and you sit and you wonder,
We're on
what
pass
are we
already.
doing?
We are
What's-
following a set of rules
Yeah.
in the name of religion.
Yeah.
As Christians, we are following a set of
Set of
rules.
rules, yes.
Muslims are following a set of
Set of
rules.
rules.
I dare say the other religions, Ari, Krishna, all of us, we are following a set of rules, and we are just going.
Yeah.
It's not deep.
Yeah.
It's not from our hearts. It's
Yeah.
not from a genuine place of, you know.
We are not allowing our
no,
humanness
no,
Yeah.
to come to play.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just rules.
Yeah.
Because, but for that, why would you kill somebody for doing something mistakenly?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? He just drove.
Right.
He said
Over
mistake accidentally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
accidentally.
He didn't see the book.
Yeah, didn't
Never
see
saw
the
He didn't
anything.
see that
Didn't
it was
even
the
allow
Holy
him to
Quran.
explain himself.
No, they just dragged him from the car, killed him, and went
And-
ahead and killed everybody else that they thought was
and
Christian.
he was
And-
trying to tell people that see what
And this is happening in 2022.
it is.
In Nigeria, 2022, this is happening. People are being killed because
Of recent, right?
yeah, recently
Of
this
recent,
year,
Yes.
this year in
Yes.
Nigeria, it has
Yes.
happened.
Yes. I learned
This
you
year.
mentioned
Yeah, I think he insulted. I think he insulted the holy prophet,
the Holy Prophet.
and that was it. He was
That was
killed.
it. Most of the imams were saying, "Oh, but maybe she doesn't know. Why won't you call her and sit her and educate her?" Would you think that maybe God will be happy? Maybe she said that out of ignorance.
Ignorance.
I hear one man who was actually who had employed the services of a prostitute in Nigeria. So she went into the brothel. He went into the brothel and realized that after they had done everything, realized that there was a Quran under the prostitute's bed. That was it. That was it. That was the death of the lady
He killed the lady.
this year.
He that
No, he just went to tell the people, hey, this woman is a prostitute and she has a
you see
Bible.
the
And
hypocrisy.
that day,
Oh.
But nobody thought to kill him
no.
because he has just.
Exactly. The
Because
fact that she was doing something wrong in the eyes of society and in the eyes of a religion, and the fact that there was a Quran, the Holy Quran there, was the
And
end.
she was killed.
She was killed.
And he was bold enough to go and raise
Yes.
alarm.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Oh, the hypocrisy is just
It's
too much.
amazing.
It's just too much. I think
It's
for me, I
amazing.
think education is what will liberate us.
Right.
Yeah.
Education and to be able to know right from wrong by your own self, not by someone coming to the podium, stand there and to preach and say this. Why did God give us this our mind, our brain? Why? The
Yeah.
common sense should come to play, but we sell that common sense. The only thing we have, we sell it out, and so therefore we would be rude or will be. I mean, it's just so sad.
I also
There's
think-
hatred sometimes. I think that people do some of these things from a place of hate.
Yes, and
The
which
hatred is already there.
Mm-hmm.
So the little thing sparks it.
Sparks it.
That's what I think.
Yes.
But I think religion
We
actually
need to heal
fuels it.
as a people.
I think the religion actually fuels the hate, because if I don't know which religion actually does not preach love in the first place, but we set to place a certain God on a very high pedestal, that we feel that certain actions,
We have to fight his war for him.
exactly,
As if we are bigger than God.
exactly.
As if we are bigger than God.
Because-
It's ridiculous.
So in doing that, we are not able to exercise our personal conscience.
Right.
We do not have an independent mind of our own. That okay, this thing I'm doing, like let me put it to strict analysis. Is it right? We are not able to do that because we have been consumed.
Let it make sense.
Yes.
That's what I say about every situation.
We
Make
don't
it
let
make
it-
sense.
we don't-
To you.
Let it make sense.
don't let
This
it
thing
make
you are
sense.
doing, let it make sense.
We don't let it make
Let
sense.
it make sense.
And I feel people are just bad and they hide under the guise
Oh,
of religion.
thank you,
and be
Zainab.
doing all this kind of
Thank
things.
you.
And I mean the hypocrisy. I didn't want this particular topic to come up now,
Right.
but I'll go on and say it regardless, because I feel that when I was growing up, I had that perception.
What perception?
I'm coming to it. When I was growing up, I had a certain perception. When I completed SHS in 2011, I was growing up again, and by 2014, 2015, my perception about that had changed. So it has got to do with this whole conversation about people who are LGBTQ and blah 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 blah. In fact, in post 2014, you dare not have that conversation with me.
You wanted to fight for God
I'm telling you, you dare not have that
and
conversation
finish
with
people
me.
off because they are committing sin.
Yes, unbeknownst to me that there are people either committing other sins equal in the eyes of God, if the
Yes.
Bible is whatever
I don't
it
even
is
want to go
by.
there. That's a whole conversation. We don't
Exactly,
have all day.
but
And
I
I will
mean-
get into trouble because I have some very radical opinions. You know that.
Yeah, so
I've been advised to behave myself, so let me
Exactly.
behave myself. But for me, the point is that, like
Yeah.
you rightly said, I'm going to just leave it at what you said,
Yeah.
which is the fact that if indeed we believe in a God that is all-knowing and all-powerful
Yeah.
and omnipotent and omnipresent and all the
Yeah.
wonderful things, let God fight his battles.
Yeah.
There's no way that you, human being, you can fight for God.
Yeah.
Leave it. That's not your problem.
Yeah.
So whatever sin you think is out there and is sinful, and leave it.
Leave it, yeah.
Concentrate on your own life.
Yeah.
Let God deal with that. It's
Yeah.
not for you to kill or beat somebody for God.
Yeah. Basically.
I love what you said. Let's go to other things. Let's go. So let's go to the thing of love. For
Yeah,
instance.
the
I love the thing of love.
Yeah.
Let's
the
talk
theme
about
of
that.
love. So, for people who were of two different worlds, okay, a very educated Christian Igbo woman, and then somebody who wasn't literate, was Muslim, and was these are two different people coming together with all the ethnic and religious tension.
And
then-
social and
social
class.
and class tension, and then being able to live amicably, and then finding value in each other at the end of the day. I mean, it was beautiful. That I don't know how long it took, but I think it was about a day.
They slept there.
Yes, they slept there in the store and whatever, everything that went on. The Hausa woman offering her the wrapper for it. And you could, from the narration, the wrapper was like one of her most prized possessions. The narrator said it was very clean.
Yes. Chika says something like, probably it is the
One of
the
two.
two.
Yeah, one of the two.
One of the
yes.
two she has.
She
but
owned.
she didn't care.
Yeah, she didn't care.
No.
It was a prized possession.
She even gave it to her at the end to take with her.
Yes, the scarf.
The
Yes.
scarf.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they lived amicably under those circumstances. And even started from when the Hausa woman told her that, look, the way you are headed is the way of danger. Please come
She
here.
saved her.
Yeah, she saved her.
She saved her.
She saved her. That was love. That was love. So this,
Saved her.
the ethnic conflict and whatever, at the end of the day, we should realize that we can live amicably,
Right.
both Muslims and Christians
In
and
the midst
whatever.
of all the chaos.
We can live amicably. Charlie, there may be a few mad people in both religions. It brings me to the Fante or the Akan aphorism that if you be a Mensa woman, there may be a Mensa in every religion. Let's leave that. But
If the collective, if the majority of us
yeah,
think a certain way,
yeah,
those few
Few.
bad ones will be fished out.
exactly.
I think it's our silence, isn't it? The
Yeah.
fact that those of us who appreciate that it's not right, we keep mute. We
keep
don't
mute,
talk.
yeah.
We keep silent.
And the few ones that are, I don't
Bad.
know, bad,
Yeah.
they have the voice.
They're
they have,
out
I don't
there,
know,
they're
they have the
doing-
confidence, they
Yeah.
have the
Yeah.
voice, they have
Yeah.
the mic, they have the streets. So
Yeah.
why are the
Yeah.
educated ones, why are those people
The
who-
reasonable ones.
yes, the reasonable ones,
Yeah.
the discerning ones.
I think if you compare the Nigerian situation to the Ghanaian situation, I think it's pretty different.
Okay.
It's really different here. For us here in Ghana, I mean, we may have pockets of issues of our own with regards to religion and then ethnicity. But if you look at the bigger picture,
Ours is we don't marry.
yes,
Don't go and marry somebody from that tribe.
Exactly.
That's how we operate. ours.
exactly,
We don't kill.
Yeah, we don't kill.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
if you look at how both religions have contributed to national cohesion, you see the chief imam, Christian
Oh, I went to see the
functions.
chief imam. It
I
was
mean,
beautiful.
Christian functions.
Right.
I mean, it's nice. I don't know the situation in Nigeria, and then like northern Nigeria is always boiling, and that's where literally all the bad things happen. The Boko Harams, the jihadist attacks, and all it is always happening there. So why haven't they been able to
It's,
find an antidote? And it's been there for a long time.
And it's still there.
It's still there.
And it's still there. And I think it is one of the technique or the thing the politicians use.
Yes,
It is a
that's what she
deliberate
speaks
and
about.
calculated
Yeah.
attempt to try to alienate this group of people because they have the numbers.
Yeah.
The northern part alone is quite huge.
Yeah.
So they they rid them of education, they rid them of things, basic things that they need to be able to be enlightened and know. Because
Yeah.
how can someone who just drove over a Quran will just be taken out of a car and just
Killed.
do you understand me? So
Yeah.
for me, I think that education, I will still come back to education.
yeah.
Yes. So if we are educated, the northern part, now I think there is, but still, all these things happens there. The rioting, I think in 2017, I was up north there, one of these states, Gombe State, and the area we were living were full of Igbos, even though now in the northern part, like Kano, for instance, we have a suburb of Kano we call the Sabongari, and it is full of the Igbos. They are cohabiting very well. Where I was to, the area was called Igbo quarters. They are Christians, the Igbos. But I think one time something came up. I think that because of this kind of route, and I got scared. Like, hey, we are in the midst of the Igbos. What will become of us? But luckily, the imams in the area were preaching after every 5 daily prayers. They will preach of love. They will preach of togetherness. They will preach of don't let this few bad ones spoil our peaceful living. And really, it went a long way. It helped. The place was calm because there was riots. You could hear gunshots. You could, and haven't you realized that, as he said, it is only in the northern part? Why do you think it is only in the northern part? Why do you think it is not happening in the southern? Because they are educated. The majority are educated.
Educated there.
Yes.
Right.
So for me, I think
There's something here that I have to read. I hope that I took note of it. It was so profound for me. It was so profound for me. Okay, so it says here just a little bit. The streets are silent, the sun is falling, and in the evening dimness, Chika looks around, unsure which way to go. She prays that a taxi will appear by magic, by luck, by God's hand. Then she prays that Ninendi will be inside the taxi, asking her where the hell she had been. They have been so worried about her. Chika has not reached the end of the second street toward the market when she sees the body. She almost doesn't see it. She walks so close to it that she feels its heat. The body must have been very recently burned. The smell is sickening of roasted flesh, unlike that of any she has ever smelled. Later, when Chika and her aunt go searching throughout Kano, a policeman in the front seat of her aunt's air-conditioned car, she will see other bodies, many burned, lying lengthwise along the sides of the street as though someone carefully pushed them there, straightening them. She will look at only one of the corpses naked, stiff, face down, and it will strike her that she cannot tell if the partially burned man is Igbo or Hausa, Christian or Muslim from looking at that charred flesh.
Yes.
And that just made me feel all kinds of way.
Yes.
That at the end of the day,
Yes.
we are all just flesh and bones.
Yes. Whether Muslim or
Muslim or
Yes.
Christian, Hausa or
thing.
Because
Igbo.
you just go out there, you see someone, you slash, you would not know. It is not written on the
No.
face.
I dare say, take Zainab's scarf and put it on my head.
Yeah.
And take what Zainab is wearing and put it on me. And I'll look Hausa.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I will.
Yeah.
We have the same face.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
So why do we do this to ourselves? Why? Okay, so now let me come to my theme.
Yeah.
And for me, is the theme of I wanted to read this. Sorry, to buttress the religion, and then I'll come to my
Yes,
theme. It says here, she says, she knows the woman is on her knees. This is when the woman is praying.
Yeah.
And she says, she knows the woman is on her knees, facing Mecca, but she does not look. It is like the woman's tears, a private experience, and she wishes that she could leave the store, or that she too could pray, could believe in a God, see an omniscient presence in the stale air of the store. She cannot remember when her idea of God has not been cloudy, like the reflection from a steamy bathroom mirror, and she cannot remember ever trying to clean the mirror.
Yeah.
That too was just like profound for me,
Yeah.
because really,
Yeah.
who is God?
Yeah.
You know, what's your understanding of who this God is, and how are you experiencing this God, reflecting this God, and living with your fellow human being based on this God?
It is good.
It's such a conversation that needs to be had. Anyway, I digress. I wanted to talk about our commonality as people.
Yeah.
So child body is one experience of that for me, but the other experience for me, that's when the lady tells her that her nipples are burning,
Yeah.
and she says, and she sort of brings out her nipples and hands it over to the girl. She says, the woman's nipples are nothing like that boy's, and she's comparing it to another boy's nipple that she had seen. They are cracked, taut, and dark brown. The areolas lighter toned. Chika looks carefully at them, reaches out and feels them. Do you have a baby? She asks. Yes, 1 year. Your nipples are dry, but they don't look infected. After you feed the baby, you have to use some lotion. And while you are feeding, you have to make sure that the nipple and also this other part, the areola, fit inside the baby's mouth. The woman gives Chika a long look. First time of this. I'm having 5 children. It was the same with my mother. Her nipples cracked when the 6th child came, and she didn't know what caused it until a friend told her that she had to moisturize, Chika says. She hardly ever lies, but the few times she does, there's always a purpose behind the lie. She wonders what purpose this lie serves. This need to draw on a fictional past similar to the woman's. She and Nendi are her mother's only children. Besides, her mother always had Dr. Ibuku, with his British training and affection, a phone call away. What is your mother rubbing on her nipple? The woman asks. Cocoa butter. The cracks healed fast. The woman watches Chika for a while, as if this disclosure has created a bond. All right, I get it and use. And when I read that, I just felt, I don't know, feelings.
Yeah.
I felt feelings, right?
Yeah.
Because Chika, and she's a young university girl, but she's wise.
Yes.
She's a wise girl.
Yes. Yes. Very smart
A
lady.
very wise girl.
She wanted the woman to know that even if you have this, it's okay.
It's normal.
It's normal.
My mother
you
had
can,
it too.
yes, my mother has it too.
Yeah.
You can heal it. It can be healed.
Yeah.
It's just okay.
Right.
So you see, for me, I thought that in the midst of that chaos that was happening around them, they had this solace in this abandoned store where they lost.
Connected.
They connected. Even though the lady was like, Halima, she doesn't know her whereabouts, and she too doesn't know the whereabouts of her sister.
Her sister.
That notwithstanding, they found this bond between them, at least to comfort them in the midst of all this chaos, and it was so beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
Absolutely beautiful. And you know, I'm looking at this elderly woman that has had 5 children. That's looking at this small girl that's telling her what to do with her breast. It's like, I've had 5 children. What do you know? Have you had one?
No, but it was
right?
in the back
But then
of,
the story of the mother sort of made it all
Normal,
okay.
like
I think the woman also asked her because of the fact that she'd told her she studies medicine.
Yes, she's a medical
Yes, in the
student.
university, and then she asked her, okay, are you practicing her clinical? I said, yes, I started my clinicals here and then. Blah, blah.
you see,
And even that actually surprised her.
Right.
It surprised Chika when the woman asked her if she had started her medical, because she didn't expect the woman to know what medicine was
Chika said
in the
she was
first
like,
place.
well, I'm telling you, but I don't know what going to university means to her.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
She said it anyways.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she knew. She asked. Yeah.
Right. But then also that doesn't make us realize that, I mean, woman who sells in the market or not, there are some bases, like having a cracked nipple. That is universal to all women,
Yeah.
right? That all women can sort of have to deal with, or you know.
Things.
But also just the fact that, and I'll go back to the beginning when they meet, when the woman talks about, she said she lost something. The woman said she lost something.
She lost her bracelet,
bracelet.
She
necklace.
lost her necklace.
Yeah,
Her necklace.
yeah.
And
Yes.
Lady too said she lost her
Yes.
bag of
Yes.
Yeah.
a
And it-
handbag and
Yes, it was so instrumental to me because Chika thought that the woman's necklace
Be some
couldn't
cheap-
be anything but
Yeah.
some
cheap
rubber.
strings,
Yeah.
something.
But then what she had lost was her original designer Burberry
Burberry
bag.
bag, yes.
But in the route, none of those things mattered.
Matted.
Whether it's a designer Burberry bag or it's a cheap necklace or whatever, none of that mattered.
You see, at that point, actually, Halima was gone and also her sister.
Inendi.
But you see,
Yeah.
it was the material possession that they thought of first.
Immediately.
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 Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
God forgive us.
And we are all
Guilty.
Yes, we are guilty of all these
Guilty.
things.
We are
Yes.
all guilty. We are all guilty. But it's just that you know, commonness. So that even in the place like Kanu, where the routing is against the Igbo Christian, it also affects the Hausa Muslim.
Yeah, it does.
She loses her daughter,
Yeah.
Yes.
and she could have lost her own life.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we think that we are harming the other side, but sometimes we are harming ourselves.
So, yeah.
Their experiences were the same. Forget that one was a Muslim, a Hausa Muslim woman.
Chika never knew she
Christian
would be
Igbo.
part of
No.
this.
Yeah.
She
Oh, no,
only
no, no,
hears
no,
it
no.
on the radio and what have you. But
And the shops and the shops of Muslim and houses and Christians were looted.
Right.
So it doesn't matter.
Everybody was affected.
Yeah.
Everybody was
They
affected.
wouldn't come and say, okay, this is a
this is
Muslim
a
shop,
Muslim
so let
shop.
us.
This is a
the
Christian.
shop.
No.
See. So that is one thing we always tend to forget
Right.
when we want to, when our bad sides want to come to play. We tend to forget the effect. Oh, would it affect my household too? No, we don't think about that.
Yeah.
It is afterward then, oh, had I known.
Right.
But it's already gone.
Right.
Cannot change the loss.
Right.
Yeah.
Which also brings me to this thing about violence is never the answer.
The answer.
No matter how angered you are,
Yes.
no matter how you feel that you've been wronged, no matter how you feel that an injustice has been, you know, measured
Done
out
to
to
you.
you, violence cannot
is
be the
never the
answer to that.
answer. Yes.
'Cause you harm
Violence is
yourself.
never the answer.
Yeah.
Now look at Chika and
Right.
this, even in the midst of all this, but what did they seek to do? The woman went out of her little bit to help her.
Yeah.
She didn't, she's a Christian.
Yeah.
She's an Igbo Christian, but she didn't care. That time, it didn't matter to her,
Yeah.
but just to save her.
Yeah.
You see, so it's just so phenomenal.
It is. And also the class distinction. At the end
Yeah.
of the day, baby or not.
Yeah.
And she got the baby on her last vacation to the US,
Yes.
by
Yes.
the way.
Yes.
So vacation
With
to the
her,
US
on
or
her,
not,
with her
designer t-shirts and her denim,
you.
did not matter. There she was on the floor of a dusted store, sitting on the scarf of a market woman.
Market woman, yes.
You know, their bodies touching more than necessary.
Yeah.
And when I read that, God, I have a confession to make. I'm like that.
Yeah.
I value personal space.
Yeah.
You know how sometimes people just get into your personal space?
Space. Yeah.
I have a thing against it. I don't know. And COVID sort of amplified it for me 100. Right? I have a thing about just getting into somebody's personal space.
yeah,
Like when even when you I know you, like
Yeah.
even at work here,
Yeah.
and you come to the office and I need you to keep a respectable distance.
Distance, okay.
I feel that maybe it's a bad thing. I don't know. But it's
Yeah.
just something that I have.
Yeah.
I think it's a women thing.
Maybe. I don't like you just coming into my personal
Yes,
space.
yes.
I don't know.
I
You're
get
not my
you.
son.
Yeah.
I get
Right?
it.
So when I read the part where she was uncomfortable with the two of them physically
Finally.
thrown together
Yeah.
on that small piece of scarf
Yeah.
in the room,
Yeah.
I said to myself, look at your life, Maame.
No, I mean,
Like, look at your life.
Yeah.
You are the one that values personal space. And it comes a time where it doesn't even matter.
does it really matter?
It
It
doesn't
doesn't.
matter.
I think she herself came to that realization
Right.
too. It doesn't matter. At
I
the end of the
mean-
day, what were you scared of in the first place? What do you think could change? Do you think that could change something about you? What are you fighting to protect? You see. So, this story is just...
It's a good book.
I'm
Very
telling
good
you.
book.
A lot of things to think about.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of things to think
If
about.
it tells me anything, I mean, in one sentence, it would say that you are a human being before anything else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly. God, this is an
Absolutely.
educated lady,
A
educated
human being
lady.
before anything else. Yeah.
Before your class, before your education, before your so-called...
Religion, your ethnic,
Thank you.
Ethnicity, yeah, everything.
everything.
Yeah.
The book sort of stripped us to our bare minimum.
Yeah.
Stripped
This
all
is
of
you.
us to a body
Yeah.
bent
Yeah.
on the floor.
Yeah.
This is you, Charlie.
Bent on the floor.
Yes,
Yeah.
No extras. I
Yeah.
talk too much. Any other themes? Any other themes? I'm looking at the time now.
I-
Any
I-
other
I-
themes?
I would say misinformation. It has got to
Right.
do with what the radio reported. I mean, it was clear misinformation. They had actually, like to some extent, they were actually fueling it. They were painting a picture. To me, that was not. You understand? They were painting. If you can.
I'll
if you
find it for you. Don't
yes,
worry.
if you can find it,
I will
for me.
find
That's
it
what
for
politics
you.
does.
Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
So let's start from here. It's a long read, but please do pardon me. It says, later, when Chika and her aunt go searching throughout Kano, I think I've read this part. Okay. She will listen to BBC radio and hear the accounts of the deaths and the routes, religious with undertones of ethnic tension, the voice will say. And she will fling the radio to the wall, and a fierce red rage will run through her at how it has all been packaged and sanitized and made to fit into so few words, all those bodies. But now the heat from the burnt body is so close to her, so present and warm, that she turns and dashes back toward the store. She feels a sharp pain. Okay, so there's another one. You know, it's yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it's deeper than misrepresentation. It's
Yeah.
just she saw the bodies.
Yeah.
She lived that experience. She
Yeah.
saw all those dead
those
bodies
things.
lying on the, you know, and for all of that to be classified in just a few phrases, religious with undertones of ethnic tension. That's it. That's the story.
She felt it wasn't enough.
Treated with so much importance.
Yes.
She's just like, my goodness.
It wasn't enough. These are people lying there dying, burnt. You're not talking about that, but you just caption
religious with undertones of ethnic tension.
That got her so
She was her sister. She lost her sister because of that.
Yes,
she never found.
This lady lost her daughter because of this. You're not
Yes.
talking about these important things, but the only thing you can caption is just
yes. And it brings me to this thing that we talk about all the time about how, and forgive me for going there, when things happen, Western media tends to report on it based on who it affects.
It affects.
So it's such a catastrophic calamity if it affects a certain kind of people.
Yeah.
But if it affects another kind of people, then it's ethnic clashes with, you know. So we devalue humanity based on the value that we have placed on people. And I can appreciate her rage. That's her sister.
Yeah.
That's somebody's daughter. These are human lives. She lived like the experience.
Yes.
And let's also talk about her sister for a minute, because she, even though we never met her, she's my favorite character.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
in ND is my favorite character of the book. We never met her.
Yeah.
She died before we had a chance to meet her. But the little flashes of her that her sister had, she sounds like my kind of girl.
Yeah.
You know, and this kind of person died in a route because somebody mistakenly drove over. You know, it's just so sad. And the sister is so radical.
Yeah.
Very radical.
So radical.
And at the point when she was trying to explain some things to this unnamed Muslim lady, she wishes her sister was around to maybe, like, as she said, why are you just saying evil? This thing is evil. This riot doesn't happen within a vacuum. There is more to it. And she, at that point, she felt, or she had wished Nedi was there to maybe throw more light or enlighten this lady on this whole thing that is happening. Yeah. I think she missed her.
I miss her. I never knew her, but I miss her.
Yeah.
I miss her too.
I'm trying to find.
I miss her too. It's amazing. Please find it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find one description.
Please find her. Find her. We lose out on valuable. Oh God, forgive me. I have to give this classic example. Kofi Awuno.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Kofi Awuno.
May he so rest.
May he so rest in peace. As I say this, I tear up. When I heard that he had died, and the circumstances around which he died, I couldn't get over it. Right? Look at somebody like Kofi Awuno.
Yeah.
Look at the contributions that he made to literature.
Exactly.
Locally, internationally.
Yeah.
The man taught me in English class at the University of Ghana. He was my lecturer at the University of Ghana. That's an English professor who was a historian. The man working was like
a walking encyclopedia.
My goodness.
Yeah.
And how did he die? Because he had gone to visit his son in Kenya. And some random human being had picked up a gun in a Kenyan mall where he wasn't even supposed to be
there,
and had just killed the man, just like that, for nothing, for absolutely nothing. And for days I couldn't get over it. I was just so upset by it. And I don't know, I don't even understand how we don't realize that we need to stop. Like, I don't even know how, you know, like how.
And normally for me, I think as human beings, we also don't cherish what we have. Yeah. Like the people or the things we have there until they leave us.
They leave us,
Yes, that is when you will like.
Yeah. Well, for me, I think, I mean, in the case of Kofi Awuno, may he so rest in peace. When he was in Kenya, I'm sure the person even didn't know the caliber of person that he was.
No, didn't know him.
Just like that.
Human being was.
Yes.
And it had to do with also religious.
And
who, you see, this is the irony of it.
Yeah.
Who better?
Yeah.
In Ghana, fights religious bigotry
than
Kofi
Yeah,
Awono.
Kofi Awono.
His whole poem was against colonization.
Yeah.
That famous
Liberation.
poem, Cathedral,
Yeah,
was about
Cathedral.
how the West had brought Christianity to harm us.
To harm us, yes.
And yet a religious bigot
Yes.
kills him and doesn't know that this man is a champion of what he himself
is doing.
It's just
Like
ridiculous,
Inedi, right?
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just ridiculous.
Yeah. So I found something about Inedi. It says later Chika will comb the hospital mortuaries looking for Inedi. She will go to newspaper houses clutching the photo she and Inedi took at a studio just 2 weeks ago. The one where she has a stupid smile yelp on her face because Inedi pinched her just before the take. She will tape photocopies of the photo on the walls of the market and the stadium. She will not find Inedi. She will never find Inedi. But now she says to the woman, Inedi and I came up here last week to visit our auntie. You're on vacation from school. You go to school? The woman asked, you and your sister? Yes, we go to university, the University of Lagos. Chika wonders if the woman even knows what going to university means. And she wonders too if she mentions school only to feed herself the reality she needs now. Now, this is it. Is that now that Inedi is not lost in an insane riot, that Inedi is safe somewhere, probably laughing in her easy mouth all open way, probably making one of her political arguments, like how Africa's problems would be solved if all the nations adopted the detribalized Pan-African socialism of Julius Nyerere, or how the huge popularity of blonde hair attachments was a direct traceable result of British
colonialism.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you, Zainab.
Thank you. For
Thank
having
you.
us.
You have to come back. You have to come back. You have to come back. I love you.
promise.
Thank you,
I
Bless.
promise.
Always a delight. Listen, I was going to say we should stop reviewing. No, we have to finish all the books. All the short stories in this book. It's an amazing book. I've had a lovely time. Thank you.
We have
Thank
to
you.
have us all.
Thank you. And thank you.
I enjoyed your company too.
Aww. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you for watching. Always a pleasure. Please go and grab this book. I promise you. Yeah, it will give you a lot of things to think about. It's old. She wrote this a while back, but it's still very, very relevant. And come along with us as we review the stories. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.